Thank you for that explanation. I've heard you explain that at several of the conferences that I've been with you. Next question, Dr. Nikolas. Oxidative stress and detox connection. Many people hear the term oxidative stress, but don't quite grasp its role. I think of it personally in terms of an apple that you've cut and then you set it on a counter and you come back an hour or so later and that apple is brown. Can you help our listeners understand how oxidative stress triggers the inflammothrombotic immunological response in cardiovascular health?
With pleasure, Lori. First of all, you are right. It is like the apple that is exposed to oxygen, and then we have problems there. So let's start very simply. Oxidative stress is the stress that we have in a tissue or an organ because of oxidation. And this is something that happens every single day. We cannot stop it. Let me go back to what very wisely Dr. Fleming said. Everything is a matter of balance. Balance. Uh, Everything has to have metron. That's why we called our company metron. Metron is the concept of the internal balance of a system. We were designed to have balance as human beings. We call it homeostasis. That means that whenever we have a problem, our body has the systems in order to fight against this problem. So oxidative stress is something that is happening normally, but we have the systems in place in our body to fight against this oxidative stress. How this happens, how this problem happens? Well, we have what we call radical oxygen species or reactive oxygen species, and these are the bad guys. Now, we have the mechanisms, we have the enzymes, we have the enzymic reactions, the biochemical reactions to overcome this problem. Again, at the health status, there is a balance. The problem occurs, we solve the problem. Our real problem happens when we cannot fight the oxidative stress that will occur. We lose the balance. So then the internal balance of our system is damaged. We can define this as disease or as expression of symptoms that are categorized as diseases. Now, why oxidative stress is so important? Well, it is so important because it applies to every single tissue of our body. This is not something for the central nervous system, or just the cardiovascular system, or just the gastrointestinal system. This applies to every single system of our body, every single organ of our body. Now, there are natural substances that we are using, we take them from our food, to fight against this stress that is caused by oxidation, the oxidative stress. Antioxidants. Many food substances are natural antioxidants, and we can use them to fight back. This is for the healthy metabolism. So our metabolism works, we are able to fight this back, homeostasis works, we keep balance, we are okay. Let's see what can happen so then we have problems. Well, there are many reasons for this. Number one, environmental factors, what we call pollution, okay? Smoking, radiation, exposure to many kinds of toxins. Speaking chemically, inorganic toxins like heavy metals, organic toxins like herbicides, pesticides, and also composite toxins like the particulate matter. Specifically, the particulate matter 2.5, tiny particulate matter like dust, is a big time problem because it sits in our cells and it triggers oxidation. So these are, you know, pollutants that cause problems that we should be able to fight against unless something goes wrong. Now, what can go wrong? Well, first of all, our food. Dr. Fleming, I will use the famous quote that the great grandfather of all of us, the great Dr. Hippocrates, 25 centuries said very wisely, let the food be the medicine and let the medicine become the food. Well, when Hippocrates said this, again 25 centuries ago, people didn't use to soak their food on glyphosate. People didn't use to spray their foods with herbicides and pesticides. And you know, Lori, all these substances, chemical substances, are designed by pharmaceutical companies to have a high level of water solubility, because having high level of water solubility can be absorbed by the roots of the plants. Well, guess what else is happening with this high water solubility? These substances get into our body by the food that we eat, the, the air that we breathe, and the water that we drink. Let's stop for a moment here. Food that we eat, water that we drink, air that we breathe. How we can stop these substances by getting in our body? Answer, we cannot. We cannot stop drinking water. We cannot stop eating food. We cannot stop breathing. And again, there are several marketing approaches out there saying, well, you know, I only eat organic. Good. And, you know, organic is fine. But, you know, the last time that we checked the global map, it was impossible to identify where exactly this organic land is, that I assume they have organic water there. They have organic air. So this strawberry grew up by having organic water. Nice marketing approach, does not apply to reality. So the problem is that our natural defense that could be helped by the food cannot, because we manage to start destroying our food. And then we have repercussions. Now, there's another problem here. We don't have repercussions only from one organ or only from one system. Let me explain why is this important. Let's give a simple example. You walk, you sleep, you fail, you have a broken leg. Okay, that's a problem of this bone. You're going to fix that. You're going to do surgery or put a cast, or do something. You're going to solve this problem. It's a single dimension problem. The problem with environmental toxicity and its repercussion in our inability to fight with the oxidative stress relies in something which is very, very important. Our actions, our homeostatic mechanisms to defend ourselves are chemical reactions in our body, everywhere in our body, in our cells. The problem is that heavy metals and other environmental toxins, organic and inorganic molecules, are a factor or a cofactor, certainly a common denominator for many wellness problems and many health problems, because heavy metals and environmental toxins interfere with many biochemical pathways in our body, and they influence these biochemical pathways, making them to malfunction or go slow. So it's a very complex issue here. That's why you see people that they have hypertension and digestive problems and this and that and the other thing. How is it possible to have 10 conditions at the same time? Well, because you get in your body toxins that interfere with all the systems that malfunction and create these conditions for your wellness, and after a certain point for your health, and sometimes can become lethal.
Bring them fields of green and gold, let their laughter echo clear. In a world so tightly wound, where can our children play? Bring them fields of green and gold, let their laughter echo clear. In a world so tightly wound, where can our children